welcome to the MVP Show. My intention is that you listen to the stories of these MVP guests and are inspired to become an MVP and bring value to the world through your skills. If you have not checked it out already, I do a YouTube series called How to Become an MVP. The link is in the show notes. With that, let's get on with the show. Today's guest is from Pune, India. He works as a Senior Information Technology Manager. He was first awarded as MVP in 2023. He has a focus on business applications with Microsoft, both Dynamics and the Power Platform. You can find links to his bio, social media, etc. in the show notes for this episode. Welcome to the show, Mourtaza.
Thank you so much, Mark, and I am honored to participate in your show. Thank you once more.
I really appreciate you coming on and to tell your story. And I always like to start with getting to know you personally outside of the technology area. So with that in mind, tell me about 3 things regarding food, family, and fun. What do they mean for you?
Okay. When it comes to food, I am more about born and brought up in Madagascar, which was a francophone kind of a culture. I love to eat French cuisine, and I would say that is the most preferred cuisine worldwide. And being in Pune, it's not always easy to get those type of food. Family, yes, for sure. I'm a family-oriented person. I love to spend time with my family whenever, it is possible. I've got one son who is 11 years old now, and when time permits, of course, once I'm done with the work, that is my stress reliever, to play with my son. And when it comes to fun, I love beach. So the nearest beach from Pune is Goa. I would say you'll be visiting soon once you'll be in India. And those are from an Indian perspective, Goa is the most liked beach. However, from where I am coming from, because Madagascar being one of the most natural country in the world right now, so they have got also the most beautiful beach even currently. Yeah.
I've had a lot of advice that I should go to Goa as part of when I come and live in India for 3 months. I keep saying it because I know if I say it enough, man, that's going to happen.
The manifestation technique,
yes.
Right?
Yeah, bring my family there. So tell me a bit about you. You're an author, that's right? You've written a book?
Correct. So, Mark, when I came to India, of course, India being an Anglophone country, so I was not very much into English that time. I think so. I would say in year 2008 or 2009. So I had to take a completely basic start. I had to start from the basic when it comes to an English language. And in meanwhile, to maintain my French language, I used to give tuition, and I was teaching French language in one of the most renowned institute in Pune. It is Symbiosis Foreign Institute of Languages. Okay. And then I discovered the gap of the Indian students, at least from Pune. Of course, I am a native speaker because Madagascar being the official first language of Madagascar is a French, being a francophone country. And having said that, French is my first language. And that helped me also to connect with the Indian French language lovers, because I was part of Duolingo as an ambassador. And we used to organize at least whenever possible, once in a month, to meet up with the French language lover. And then they were asking me, what are those tips for to get fluency in the French language and so on. So on and off, I was helping them. And later on, one fine day, it clicked me, I should write a book, because again, that was a kind of a childhood dream to write a book. Yeah. So, of course, to find a topic, it was not so easy. And then I met a few mentors who helped me out, like, to use Ikigai methodology, Japanese Ikigai, very famous methodologies, wherein to find like, my inner passions. So, of course, two things came out. One was information technology, which I am into, and the second was, like, again, like, I'm interested into the French culture, French language, and so on. So that's why I took that opportunity, that, like, let's do it. However, once you start thinking even to write a book, you need to have a very disciplined schedule, because it's not always easy, like, and if you remember, in March 2020, the main lockdown, the hard lockdown started, wherein even in India, everyone was locked at their house. And of course, the new way of working started, work from home office. And that gave me an opportunity, like, because in the evening I was free, no and that gave me the opportunity to write that book at that point of time.
I
So
love
in
it.
short, that was my story. Yeah.
Yeah, this is so cool. This is so cool. Now, that technique, is that a Japanese technique? Was it Ikigai? You
Correct.
said? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I need to look into that a bit more. It's I find that intriguing. How many languages do you speak now?
I would say, let's start. My mother tongue is Gujarati. Okay. And I would say still the internal thought process is still in French. So my first language is in French. I speak the local language of Madagascar, still Malagasy. Once I came to India, of course, English, and Hindi again being the national language. Bit of Marathi, like, I have started understand. I understand Marathi, but while speaking, it's still challenging for me. But I'd say, and a bit of Arabic, because being Muslim, like, I speak a bit of Arabic, not much, but say. So let's say maybe five fluent, and maybe 1 to 2 coming up.
So can you read Arabic? Because isn't the Quran in Arabic?
For sure, because when we pray namaz, it's all in Arabic. Like, we have to pray this sermon from the Quran, and that is why, like, from our childhood, we have been trained to read Arabic. Uh, but however, when it comes to kind of communication, I'm not so good to be. Yeah, because that is again another story.
Wow. Wow. So interesting. So interesting. Tell me then, how did you get into your tech career?
All right. So, like, I've from Madagascar itself. My father had, thanks to my father, he had an intuition that, like, I should focus into information technology. So after my graduation and post graduation, like, I came into IT, wherein I started with those that time, like, COBOL, Turbo Pascal, DBase. I'm not sure if you remember. So those were my first programming language, and I had really fun, like, doing that. And since childhood, I was a computer kind of a person, very much addicted to computer day and night. Yeah. And I have also that habit to give back to the community, like, whenever so as you I think so, I believe you are also a spiritual person, because I heard of manifestation techniques and all. So whenever I give back to the community, we always get more and more, like, in return also. That is, I believe a lot, like, so since those days, like, I was helping some of the person of my community, of course, in line of technology. And I started my IT career in Madagascar itself in year 2000. And I would say in 2006 or 7, I came back to India, wherein I had to polish few of my IT skill, because India being the one of the motherland of technology, to polish those, and like, get an entry into the industry in India itself. In fact, in Pune itself.
Yeah. Wow. So interesting. Now, the companies that you work for, I see Honeywell in the mix. What's the company you work for currently?
It's a German-based
German,
company.
yeah.
Yeah. So, Honeywell, I left in 2021, and in fact, it's a continuation of because I joined Honeywell in 2020. Sorry, in 2013. However, even within Honeywell, I was working with the same German company, and they are into manufacturing of machines, and inverters and all. Yeah, and currently I'm taking care of one of their IT department. Wherein it, yes, sure, go ahead.
And so is your team all over the world then, not just in India, or?
Yeah, for sure. It's a global team, and the headquarters is in Germany, and Lenzi has a presence in 60 countries, and the team, which makes it more interesting, because you get to connect with lots of interesting people, and the team which I am into is a core team which provides services to all these 60 countries. IT services, I would say. When it comes to IT service, it start with start with business applications, Azure, SAP, IT security, IT administration, and so on. Yeah.
Have you done much work around SAP and the Power Platform, as in from an integration perspective?
I have in my team, some export related in SAP, ABAP, and basis. And for example, right now there is some plan of migration to they are going to use brownfield implementation when it comes to SAP migration. However, from my end, we did an integration of with using Power Automate and SAP Easy DMS, using Power Automate connectors, Power Platform connectors, and using OData and all. So that was one of the interesting project which we got, and we got it created successfully.
Excellent. Because I see from Microsoft, obviously that's a big growth area for them in seeing more and more, particularly SAP going to a clean core model as they, more and more migration to the cloud. They've got this whole concept, of course, and I think Power Platform is such a great wraparound story that it allows for, those unique workloads, automations, things like that to happen, abstracted away from the core SAP system. And using the tools of the Power Platform. So it's interesting that you're doing work in that space. How big a deal is Power Platform inside the organization? And Dynamics? Is it a core part of your enterprise stack of tools that you're using?
Dynamics, I'll start with Dynamics. Unfortunately, we are not using much because the entire ERP system is SAP, at least for the company which I'm working right now. Yeah. However, Power Platform, yes, when it comes to digitalization, my team being an expert in Power Platform, we are using it extensively on a daily basis, for sure. Okay. But also side by side, we are pushing people, each department, each product manager or each leaders to use and empower them with the tool, because it nowadays with this low code, no code technology, it becomes really easy, to digitize any processes. And Power Platform is has a very great suite of uh, tools such as Power Apps, Power Automate, Power Pages, Power BI, and so on. Even coming with Copilot nowadays, so that helps really people achieve more with less, as Microsoft says.
Interesting. Tell me, how did you become an MVP? What was that journey for you?
Yeah. That was also an interesting journey. So as I said earlier, Mark, I have that inclination towards helping people since many years. So of course, being in Madagascar, I was doing the same. And even if even when I came back to India, as I again mentioned earlier, whenever I was getting an opportunity, I was helping also, for example, students to get proficient in the French language and so on. And so was for the technology related. So I think so. I'm not sure about the year, but 10 years ago, I got an opportunity from Times of India, wherein I had to present similar podcast related to SharePoint and so on. And extensively it started during the COVID time, because I got connected with one fellow, Patrick Gimone. I think so. He's the owner and founder of EMS or EMP community worldwide. He's a Frenchman, and I got connected with him. I got connected with African people, wherein he was also uh, uh, I was providing technical knowledge, being a technology evangelist, and sharing kind of the latest trends of technology, at least from a business application side. And I like those type of knowledge sharing. It's fun, and it helps you also to connect with very interesting people from all sides of the globe. And for sure, as Mark, we meet today, and for sure we are going to meet more once. I believe we are going to connect soon in person. So that helps, for me, relationship matters. Yeah. And one fine day, I met one lady from Ireland, Foyne. Her name is Foyne, and yeah, I think so. She is quite famous, and she's one of I think so, one of the leader of power platform technology in Ireland. She's working with Avana Day in Accenture, and she told me, "Would you like to get nominated for MVP?" I say, "For sure, why not? Let's give it a try." And she nominated me. I would like again, I'm taking this opportunity again to thanks her in this platform. I hope, uh, and yes, that was the story in short. And Foin nominated me, and then one fine day I got an email from Microsoft. Congratulations, we are an MVP now. Yeah.
So good, so good. That's so exciting. My final question as we wrap up is, if you look back across your career, for the various companies you've worked with, from even, what got you into your career, what were the key highlights or inflection points or, people that influenced where you are today? Just give me one that kind of comes to mind that's important to you.
Again, as I mentioned earlier, I think so. Thanks God, I had still I've got the very good mentors in my life even now. Because that is a very important point to get the good mentors. Unless you'll not get into the right direction. Okay. So, as I mentioned earlier, thanks to my father, because he showed me at least this direction to come into the IT, because in years in 90s already technology was a boom. Of course, in different areas, different aspects, and different technologies. But as we are currently experiencing the age of AI. So in those earlier, time, it was something different, because IBM mainframe and those type of technology. And why I'm into information technology, it's an exciting domain, Mark, because technology is magic. And it empowers human life, as we are seeing right now. And maybe your one line of your code could change someone's life, or makes someone's life better, I would say. And that, I love it. Yeah.
Mourtaza, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah. Thanks to you, Mark, for this great opportunity, and looking forward to meet you in person very soon in India.
Hey, thanks for listening. I'm your host, Business Application MVP Mark Smith, otherwise known as the NZ365 Guy. If you like the show and want to be a supporter, check out buymeacoffee.com/NZ365 guide. Thanks again, and see you next time.